The next part I wanted to talk about on auto insurance is rental car coverage. Because rental cars, that's another one that comes up a lot. People go on vacation. I'm renting a car. We fly down to Disneyland. We rent a car to drive to Disneyland from the airport and get around. Am I covered driving the rental car, or do I need to buy that extra insurance from the rental car company that costs an additional 20, 30, 40 bucks a day? And the answer is, it depends. So it depends on what kind of coverage you have on your personal vehicle as to whether or not it transfers to the rental car. In general, whatever you have transfers to the rental car. So for instance, if you just have liability on your policy, then when you drive that rental car, your personal insurance policy here in Washington where I live, or if you're in Oregon or Idaho, that liability extends while you're driving the rental car. But since you don't have full coverage on your vehicle at home, they're not going to cover physical damage to the rental car. So if you get in an accident and damage the rental car, you're going to be on the hook for the cost of repairs or replacement of the rental car. And so in that case, I would say you should buy the additional coverage from the rental car agency. Now, if you have full coverage, the one thing that oftentimes is not covered is loss of use for the rental car. So you have full coverage, so you wreck the rental car, and your personal auto policy is going to pay the liability to the other person, plus it's going to pay the cost of repairs or replacement of the rental car. The part that it's not going to pay necessarily is the loss of use for the rental car. So the rental company can say, hey, we lost revenue and income because that vehicle was in the shop being repaired for 3 weeks rather than being on the lot and rented out for 3 weeks. So if their loss of income is like, hey, we make $50 a day, so that's $350 a week, so that's $1,050 for a 3-week period, then they can bill you for that loss of use or whatever their rental rate is and for however long it's out. So that could be a gap where you have to pay that extra. Whereas if you buy the rental insurance from the company, you don't have to worry about that. The caveat with that for coverage wise, and I'm just going to speak to the company that I represent, is for Farmers Insurance, we would pay for that if you have rental car coverage on your personal vehicle. Rental car coverage on your personal vehicle covers if you get in an accident and your vehicle's in the shop waiting to be repaired, we will pay for a rental car while it's being repaired. And if you rent an enterprise vehicle or a Hertz vehicle, and then it's damaged and it's waiting to be repaired, we would transfer that coverage of rental reimbursement or rental car coverage to that rental car. So that way we would cover that loss of use for you. So depending on what kind of coverage you have, you may not need to buy any additional coverage from the rental car company, or depending on what you have, you might need to buy extra coverage. So it's something that you should definitely, again, talk to your agent about. Hey, I'm renting a car. I'm going to be gone for X number of days. Do I need to buy their coverage? Or will my coverage on my personal policy cover everything? And is there any holes in that? And I would ask specifically about that loss of use. Do I have loss of use coverage? Because that could be an extra $1,000 out of pocket that you're not expecting, or more if it's not on the policy. So that's something that I would definitely recommend talking to your agent about.